Here's off for you. Watch your stab. He's Troy, your neighborhood. Watch your step here. 1 and 1, adult and kid.
So, we got a breezy window seat on top, which is good. So that's the oak fire where we ate last night. Right there.
This is continuous running marine mail delivery routes and still operates here in the United States. Marine delivery began out here many, many years ago. In fact, way back in 1916. Now, back in those days, it was a necessity. Everybody picked their mail up at the post office. There wasn't any rural delivery at that time. But this presented some traveling problems for some of the folks around the 20-plus mile perimeter of the lakeshore. Basically, the land was wilderness at that time. The roads were less than primitive, just dirt trails. The road around the lake did not even exist until way after 1910. And the mode of transportation was horse and carriage or horse and wagon. So it's easy to understand. By the summer, people found out early on that it was much more convenient to travel on the lake by boat. Tied next to us here, you might have noticed as you walked out, the beautiful old yacht Polaris. The Polaris is quite a grand old lady. She was built back in 1898. And she's the oldest operating vessel still operating here. She was privately owned, originally powered by steam, but there were at one time about 50 steamers just like that sailed here on the lake. Most everybody that had a major home here at that time had a boat like that. It was also a commercial fleet, and that's how you traveled. If you needed to go someplace, you hailed a steamer, stepped on board, steamed to your destination, conducted your business, and then steamed back home again. The summer people arrived from Chicago in those days by train. The Chicago Northwestern Railroad opened a direct line from downtown Chicago into Lake Geneva in July of 1871. And that revolutionized travel from the city. Before that, you took the stagecoach up here. It was a long day's ride from the city to get here. But after the train started operating, you could make it from downtown Chicago to here in less than 3 hours. So more and more people came into the area. The depot was actually about a half mile back from the lakefront because of the way the tracks came into town. So there was a shuttle from the train depot down to the boat landing so you could get down and catch a boat and go where you needed to go. Eventually, they actually extended the rail line looped down to the north shore to Williams Bay. And at Williams Bay, they put the depot on the lakefront. So then you could come up from Chicago, hop off of Williams Bay, step on a boat and go anywhere you needed to go. That's how travel was done out here for many, many years, even into the late 30s, early 40s. It was the easiest way to get here was come up on the train and then hop on a boat. So the mail service started back then as a convenience for the summer people so they could indeed have their mail brought out to them every day. It's continued year after year after year, right up through the world wars, right up until today. It's run every year since that time. Now it's more of a tradition. The post office delivers house to everybody out here. And where in the early days there were only 50 or 60 homes on the entire lake and a few camps, now you're going to see that there are thousands of homes out here. But even today, anybody who lives along the lakefront, we can get into your pier and wants the service, we're happy to do it. If we can safely get in and out of your dock, and you're going to see us get in some pretty tight places this morning, we're happy to deliver your mail. It's a free service. There's no charge for the delivery. We also deliver the morning newspapers 7 days a week. Again, no delivery charge. You are billed for the newsstand price of the paper. It's a summer service. Marine delivery operates every year from June 15th through September 15th. You have to keep in mind that probably more than 95% of all of these homes you're going to see this morning are summer homes. Most of these people are only here during the short summer season. That's basically the group that calls for our service. The few that do remain the year-round and opt for marine delivery in the summer get their off-season mail and newspapers delivered by car in the normal fashion. We are what is known at the post office as a star route. We are contracted to deliver the mail and the papers. We're not postal employees, but rather we are employees of the cruise line. So we hope that answers a lot of your questions here at the outset as to why we're here every day. And no, we're not the reason that the post office is going broke. They pay us $1 a year just to keep the tradition alive.
Jim played football.
My crew is resting up over there because they're going to be busy later. The young lady is Paige, and she'll be one of your tour guides, and Ronan will be the other one. They're going to trade off, so you'll see them both in action. Between deliveries, we give you a very comprehensive history lesson narration, pointing out the homes, the history of the homes, the history of the area, facts and statistics. Lots of information will be coming in. We usually suggest, in fact, that you pay particular attention to the narration. You might want to take notes because we're going to have a quiz when we get back. They didn't tell you. You have to get 80% right to get off the boat. Otherwise, we leave again at 1 o'clock. You come with us. Now, the 1 o'clock trip is the exact same ride as you're taking now, except no mail delivery to distract you, so you'll probably do better. But should you flunk again, then you have another chance at 3:15. But don't worry, we have catering by Frito-Lay back at the snack bar. We get you a snack and tide you home. I'm only kidding. But we trust you. We'll get a wealth of information from the narration. In fact, we point out that many of the folks that are with us each day come specifically to... The lagoon silted over in later years, and so they can't get back there. But the home is very interesting. It's been featured in the Chicago Sunday Tribune magazine section, and it is for sale if you're looking for a summer cottage. The realty sign is right here on the pier, so check it out.
Yay. Actually, no.
Yeah, actually, yes. For sale. That goes there, goes Jimmy. Here, do a backflip. Do a backflip.
Man, 1,200 companies, those 1,200 docks there have to be removed. 7 companies that do this every year before winter. Every one of these docks has to be removed as the ice will destroy them. That's a lot of docks.
This one's a far away one. It's far away.
Now, by now, I'm sure you noticed the pier numbers. The piers are numbered consecutively, starting in Lake Geneva at the end of Library Park. Pier 1 goes all the way around the lake. For years, that was also their street address, 696 Lakeshore Drive. Because of the fact that so many of the properties...
Wait, where? Right there?
Yeah.
I see it. Oh, we're doing that one? Oh, he's there.
Morning. Right.
He isn't.
standing up in the hollow of a tree so that his spirit might always look out over his beloved Kishwaukee-To.
Most of the underground springs at Geneva Lake are located here at the western end. The clear water in the lake comes from the many pure underground springs, as well as rain, snow, and runoff from around the lake. The only outlet is the White River, which feeds into the Fox, the Illinois...
In Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, about 35 years ago. Very luxurious inside. The main salon and pilot house feature oak and cherry wood paneling. There's an oak dining table in there, and even a wood-burning fireplace.
He's jumping, right? He's jumping. Oh, here he is. There he goes.
2015. The Yacht Club was chartered way back in 1874, and it's been on this site since 1926. This is the starting and finishing point for many of the sailboat races held here on the lake, and is also the site of a very popular sailing school. Some of the boats of that sailing school you can see right now.
So cute. They're little kids.
Many well-known sailors have come from the Lake Geneva Yacht Club, most notable being Mr. Buddy Melgus. Mr. Melgus has competed for the United States in a number of Olympic Games.
At Camp Sybil. In the 1880s, this was the site of two very popular camps known in those days as Bonamy Camp and Englewood Camp. If you had passed by one of the excursion steamers at that time, you would have seen hundreds of tents pitched along here.
The puppies. Ah, he gave the mail to the dog.
Oh, how cute.
The puppies got it.
That's our male dog. You notice the little one watching. We're going to figure it out.
That was funny.
Usually the relationship between dog and mail carrier is a little more adversarial than that. Next delivery is going to be the Camp Sybil, known today as Sybil Lane.
That was so
Paige, Ronan, myself, thanks for coming with us today. Aren't these great kids? I've had